Once upon a time, there was an ancient monastery which had fallen on hard times. No one came to visit the monks anymore. Most of the monks had grown old and died, and only 5 monks remained. They and the abbot worried about the future of the monastery. From time to time, the old rabbi from the village would come out to his hermitage in the woods to meditate and pray. The monks, who had become rather psychic, always knew when the rabbi walked nearby. They would whisper to each other, "The rabbi is in the woods again." One day, when the rabbi was at the hermitage, the abbot decided to go and visit him. He knocked at the rabbi's door.
Who's there?
The abbot of the monastery. I have come to ask you an important question.
They spoke of many things, read the Torah, and prayed together. Then the abbot became very serious.
My friend, our monastery is in decline. The people do not seem interested in spiritual things anymore. No one comes to our service. Do you have any idea what we can do?
I know. It's the same in my village. I have no specific answer for you, except one thing I want you to remember. The Messiah may be one of you.
The abbot walked home in sadness and confusion. What had the rabbi meant? The Messiah may be one of us? When he arrived home, the monks gathered around.
What did the rabbi say? Did he have an answer for our problems?
He just gave me a mysterious message. He said the Messiah may be one of us, but I don't know what that means.
During the next weeks, the monks pondered the rabbi's message.
The Messiah is one of us? Do you suppose Brother Philip could be the Messiah? Surely not. Brother Philip is so talkative. He never stops chatting about this and that.
But when you need help, Philip is always there. Perhaps Philip is the Messiah.
Well, it's surely not Daniel. Daniel is always losing things and forgetting things. Sometimes he even forgets to water the crops.
Yeah, that's true.
Come to think of it, though, Daniel is always first to give praise where praise is due. Maybe Daniel's the Messiah.
Could the abbot be the Messiah? He is such a kind leader. It must be the abbot.
Could I be the Messiah? Oh God, could I give that much for you? Surely not.
Well, surely it can't be me.
Surely it could not be me.
Could I be the Messiah?
Could I?
Could I?
In the days that followed, the monks began to treat each other with great respect, on the chance that one of them just might actually be the Messiah. And they began to treat themselves with great respect on the off chance that they themselves were the Messiah. People who came to picnic in the nearby woods began to sense a new atmosphere of joy and hope, of gentleness and mutual love. More and more people came to picnic, then to visit with the monks and to attend the services. Then a few young men joined the order of monks, and the monastery began to grow and thrive. They never discovered who the Messiah was, but they had discovered something just as important.
Tao Te Ching says, if there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace in the neighborhoods. If there is to be peace in the neighborhoods, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. Churches are not mentioned. They hadn't been invented yet in the ancient days of this scripture. But actually, churches and other organizations that in our larger society fit between the neighborhoods and the cities play an enormous part in the well-being of people and in the health of democracy. In these human-sized but bigger than family units, we help each other. We rub up against the differences that might enrich us. We safely experience and experiment with the expanding of the horizons of our minds and hearts. Our kids meet people who are not in their families. We buckle down and accomplish the tasks that we care about, not always liking the people we are working with. We speak up for ourselves. We take risks. We negotiate with people who have not known us all of our lives and who don't remember our rough edges or our shining moments in our pasts. We're all here this morning, I assume, because we have a sense that being a part of this church will make our lives and our families' lives better. And we're justifiably proud of the many ways that this church and its people act together to benefit the community. Our donations, all of the volunteer efforts that stage here with the infrastructure of relationships and communication tools that we have here. The use of our buildings for doing good deeds and the organizing of a better world. But there's another way that this congregation, or in congregations like this, make the world a better place. And that is simply by virtue of being healthy communities, which is no accident of circumstance, but a hard-earned state. What we learn and practice here, getting things done, meeting new people, raising money, working together, caring for each other and for our world, we take all those skills back to our families and schools, workplaces, and other community groups. What our kids learn at camp, they take to their college dorms, their first homes, their first jobs. The shining health of this community ripples out into the world, even as far as Kenya, halfway across the globe.
I believe that we are empathetically connected to each other, to what each other is feeling, to what each other is needing. We shouldn't blame ourselves or let judgments implying wrongness obscure this blessed connection to each other. From my UU belief, I feel we must always strive to become aware of the interdependent nature of our relationships to each other, value each other's needs, and take care of each other. So, take care of yourself and of each other, the people around you, with the sole intention of enriching everyone's life for the betterment of this community, our community. I ask you to think, what would the world be like today if Adam had just apologized and not blamed Eve? Think about it. If he had just apologized and not blamed her. Gandhi said that forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Therefore, yielding to consensus and working together for a common good can contain the negative impact of inevitable quarrels. When one is in conflict with another, the one factor that can make a difference between damaging the relationship strengthening and deepening it is attitude. I think we UUs all agree that it's okay to disagree, as long as we do it and as long as we say it with R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Remember that song that I didn't sing very well? A song from back in the day? Respect. Rabbi Hillel, the sage of Babylon, taught everyone, that which is hateful to you, you must not do to your fellow. Again, connections. We come here on Sunday. We go to potlucks. We join covenant groups. We work in the garden. We pull weeds. We paint the RE building. All of this we do to strengthen our connections, to make this a community. So, my friends, be patient with all of those around you. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress, sometimes difficult. In To Kill a Mockingbird, Atticus Finch told his young daughter, Scout, you never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view. That's what we have to do. This is why I care about this. This is why I care about this church. This is why I want to see this building grow. This new building with these high ceilings and a deep foundation that holds it up. We want to keep these doors open every Sunday to those who want to come and join us. The foundation that holds up these walls is deep in the earth, and our foundation here should be that strong. That's why we're here together every day, every Sunday. So we don't have to agree, but we must try to understand. And as a congregation, we owe each other that word that I couldn't sing, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. And then when things start to slip or slide, we need to know that right here in this room amongst us, there's an avenue to healing, to getting back on track.
When I consider the word healthy, I think of a person. And like a person, communities are not always in perfect health. Like a person, a healthy community experiences ups and downs, periods of extreme energy, joy, and general well-being, and followed by troubled emotional times or physical hardships. And so too with our church community. In the skit we just read, I was the narrator. But what if that story was about our own community? What's our narrative? Think about it. Our community just completed building this beautiful new sanctuary. A House.com survey, and you know if it came from a .com website, it must be scientific, found that 12% of couples consider separation or divorce after home renovation. When I Googled building a home and divorce, I got 47.4 million hits. Well, I'm happy to say that our community built our house and came out the other end downright joyful and proud of our huge accomplishment. Make no mistake, these are the good times. But like any person, our church has been through some difficult or uncomfortable situations in the more than a dozen years since I've been a member here. And from what I understand of our church's history, First Unitarian has had some serious growing pains in the past, and some teen angst too. We are all human, so I don't think it's realistic to believe that things are always going to run smoothly and be perfect. If our church has a fault, I think it's the belief that we can carry on with no troubles whatsoever. We're all right-minded, or else we wouldn't have ended up here, right? We love each and every member, right? We always agree, right? We're Unitarians, so we must be perfect, at least on these premises, right? Well, you get where I'm going with this. The fact that we're not perfect and that we're not Supermen and Wonder Women 24/7 is why the Healthy Community Committee is here for you, for us. The committee is a bridge to those who can help us through difficult times and come out stronger as a community. And the time to discuss the Healthy Community Committee is during times like these, the good times, so we don't end up like 5 lonely, heartsick monks in a dilapidated, falling apart monastery. When a healthy person exercises, there comes a point when they ask, why am I putting in all this effort? Our community might ask, why is a little added exertion worth it? When I look around our church, I see people I've laughed with and those I've cried with. I see people I've meditated with and argued about religion with. I see many people I've had fun with and shared books with, learned from, and tried to emulate. I've watched our church's children grow up each summer at camp and in RE and OWL. And I've seen the passing of some dear ones among us. Though sometimes difficult, these times make up our shared lives, our healthy community. My hope is that most of us cherish the shared spirituality, joys, and yes, even grappling together with the sorrows of our community. And I hope that we recognize that with a little effort along the way, we'll remain strong and vital for generations to come.
Beliefs, ideas, and action are an important part of the lifeblood of this church. However, as you've just heard and may have experienced yourself, different ideas or ways of thinking and hopes may clash as we work together. For example, an appreciation of diversity is one of the values we cherish. But that means we must learn to deal well with differences. If we handle this experience wisely, the effort will be a creative and energizing experience. And we can take what we learn, as Christine mentioned, into our families, workplaces, and community. This congregation has policies that help us maintain as safe an atmosphere as possible and to deal with situations that don't feel safe or perhaps are not safe. For example, we have a policy that requires 2 adults must be with every group of children at all times. And we have procedures to deal with situations in which a person's behavior is making others feel unsafe or in fact is unsafe. However, there's a more subtle but real tension that I've experienced over the past few years that many of you may also feel. I desire for this church, for this sanctuary, to be a safe retreat and a place for thoughtful contemplation, shielded from the nuisances and pains of daily life. At the same time, I wish for this church to be open to all, a public place filled with new thoughts and sometimes uncomfortable opinions. However, I have grown to recognize that this is a natural tension that can enrich my life. The Healthy Community Committee thinks about policies we need to successfully manage this creative tension between wanting a safe place to worship and an environment where we are exposed to differences. A second activity of the Healthy Community Committee is to offer training experiences and even the occasional Sunday service on topics that help us all live our lives and values more fully. For instance, we hope that the story of the rabbi's gift and the comments about RESPECT stays with you and reminds you of the power that comes with a full appreciation of the different people and cultures around us. The third role of the Healthy Community Committee is to notice the patterns of communication, trust, anxiety, collaboration, and yes, conflict swirling about in this complex set of groups that we call this beautiful congregation. And when we are asked, when we feel it is necessary, we have processes to solve problems or reestablish comfort together. For this, we may make use of some of our many church members who are therapists, coaches, or consultants to work with individuals or groups. It's happened actually with boards of times past, believe it or not. If an occasion arises where you may want the assistance of the Healthy Community Committee, please contact the church office. It is for this love of our community that we do this work. It is the joy of fellowship arising when we are able to deal with complex issues in a spirit of mutual respect that makes our congregation stronger. As the White poem says, so may we in this life trust to those elements we have yet to see or imagine and find the true shape of our own selves by forming it well to the great intangibles about us. Thank you.